Good evening, everyone. The message released during the first batch of Vasant Pandara is all about joyfulness, how it can change our spiritual journey instantly, and how not being joyful, how we punish ourselves. This batch 2, Pandara batch 2, it deals with certain fundamental facts. They were inspired by the interview I had recently, just about 7-8 days back, with Dr. Rudolph Trust from Harvard University. And we were discussing about how the brain plays a pivotal role in both emotional well-being and physical well-being. I tried to tie it up with spiritual well-being. The values inculcated or inspired or prescribed by our sages, including Astavakra, Avatar Purushas like Rama and Krishna, sages like caliber of Patanjali, and our great masters. How their prescriptions, their suggestions changes our mental health and emotional health. And by remaining healthy at that level, how it propels us in spiritual life as well. Dr. Rudolph Trust was mentioning about how we end up making a lot of waste material in our brain, and how nature has developed a mechanism of reducing this load of waste from our brain. The idea our sages talks about is, first of all, how not to form this waste in the first place, and if at all, if it arises, how to remove it. Our forefathers, our elders, they were always busy with giving us the solution. Having identified the problem long back, they offer us the solution. Number one is follow the circadian rhythm, be in tune with nature. Meaning, when it's a sleep time, you better sleep. Moment to wake up, start your activities. There are many reasons behind it. Right after the sunset, our physiology, our neurological functions, they change suddenly. If we don't go with that flow, we tend to swim against the currents of river. And as a result, what happens? The waste material in the brain is increased much more. At night time, there are particular cells in our brain, microglial cells, which I have mentioned in this message. They help us reduce this load of waste material in the brain and allow it to get eliminated. If we don't sleep in time, if we don't sleep enough, if we don't sleep deeply, then this excretion of the waste material or expulsion of this waste material from brain cells is compromised, and more waste material remains accumulated. Now, what are the disadvantages? These children studying, and if they keep on playing with their phones what happens then? The sleep period is extended. They won't get deep sleep. And as a result, whatever they have learned, they will not be able to retain, like a student who sleeps in time. So retention of memory is lost or reduced. Moreover, if you sleep less, you remain irritated, short-tempered next day. And because of that, you lose the ability to learn new things also, because your attention also slows down. And who suffers as a result? You yourself. This is just one idea. Likewise, how we consume our food, in which state of mind, emotion we consume our food, how it is cooked, whether it is plant-based or otherwise. Research is, according to Harvard professor, he was telling me that plant-based diet is always the best. It helps maintaining our gut health. Gut health is also considered to be number one cause of health as well as our illness. So, number one is sleep, number two is diet, number three is exercise. I don't have to go with more details, but as soon as you wake up, finish your exercises, and also somehow to Namaskaram or Surya Namaskaram, at least for 5 minutes. What happens as a result? Serotonin level is secreted much more. And because of this free circulation of serotonin, one of the hormones, it gets converted at the sunset into melatonin. Melatonin is the one that helps us go to sleep and also provides us with deep sleep. Now, coming to more important thing than all these things we have discussed is the attitude. When we listen, when we read the slokas, for example, from Ashtavakra Gita, fundamental questions Raja Janak asks to sage Ashtavakra, the best way to detach oneself, to drop desires, to get the higher knowledge and get moksha. How to do that? Sage answers very candidly, very clearly. He says, my son, if you want to attain all these things, treat your wishes as visham, your desires as poison. That's one. Number two, develop the certain qualities, certain attitudes. And when we develop all these attitudes, if I name few of them, there are just 5 of them. One is Kshama. Kshama means to forgive. What happens if you don't forgive and maintain a state of resentment towards the person? Whom are you hurting? Not the other person by creating that resentment in your heart. You are hurting yourself. You are creating more and more wasteful material that will be stored in your brain. As a result, you will have lesser and lesser synaptic reserve, which is meant for creativity. So resentful persons can never become creative. Second quality he advises to have is daya, means to have compassion. Compassion towards others, not towards yourself. Compassion towards others. Another one he talks about is arjava, means to remain sincere. When we meditate, are we sincere about our aspirations? Are we sincere about your goal? If not, reflect on why you want to practice meditation. One has to be clearly treading on this path with a clear mind, with all sincerity, not with confusion. Confusion will never lead us anywhere. Just to highlight this point, imagine you are confused about the person whom you are going to marry, and you end up marrying someone. How your life would be. Think of it. Confused persons can never become happy. If they at all become happy, it is only accidental. Other two qualities Astavakra describes to have is contentment, santosham, and truthfulness. All these 5 qualities that he describes helps us reducing the load of waste in our brain cells. When we are practicing heartfulness in its totality, meditation, cleaning, night, bedtime prayer, constant remembrance, they're all designed to absolutely zero out our waste production, and if at all by chance they get accumulated, we have the method how to clean them. There is no other system in this world that was created to fulfill these 2 requirements. And we have all felt the impact of cleaning. And this little chart that Ramakrishna Malalaji has somehow summarized in the book as well, it is also separately available how each practice meditation, what is the purpose of meditation, what kind of attitudes we require, when to meditate, the duration of meditation, qualities required, all these things. Similarly, the purpose of relaxation, why relaxation, what's the purpose, what's the attitude required, what's the impact of it. Likewise, cleaning, the prayer, reading our literature, diary writing. So this entire practice has been summarized on this little chart. And so I wish you should keep this as a, keep it in your bathroom and read it whenever you can. That will help you remember. Furthermore, we think that heartfulness will save us from troubles. It's a good wishful thinking. But the same practice can be a curse. There is no curse worse than heartfulness practice. If you still keep the negative attitudes with you, if you are full of vengeance, competitive, arrogant, and you meditate, what will happen? All these qualities will multiply, intensify. In Babuji's words, if you transmit to a thief, he becomes a perfect thief. When we mix up multiple practices also, spiritual approaches, one day to Sanstha A, another day to Guru number 2, third day to some holy place, nothing wrong with going all these places. Go with full awareness why you are going, the purpose, what impact that you expect to have by such a visit. All this purpose is impactful intentions that you desire to have. Can this practice not provide you? Is heartfulness not complete in itself? If it is incomplete, find what is so much incomplete with this practice that you have to look for it somewhere else. I don't mind you go somewhere and embrace any guru. It's your choice. But you will be wasting your energy in both places. Who does all this? Only the confused person does this. You got to bring about total clarity with sincerity and find out through all the tests that you like to undergo. Also, test your master, test your philosophy, test your practice, and then firm up your decision. And don't later on go hither and thither. Stay to one practice, either to this or to that. If you like any other system, follow that with intense love and dedication, with regularity. But you have to make up your mind, what is good for me? And invest all the energies that you can muscle up. Then you can say, yes, this system is good or not good. When we don't practice diligently as prescribed, or to put it better, if we practice diligently as prescribed, then we can hold the masters accountable. I did what you told me, and you see, I have not achieved what you promised. Only then you are eligible to point a finger at a master. Challenge the master that what sort of system have you designed? I am still not progressing. But I can complain this with courage, with confidence, only when I have played my part. When I have not played my part, you remain very cowardly, hide behind your wives, or wife hiding behind the husband, and can't even do namaskaram properly, because there is so much of guilt. Right surrender comes, right saranagati comes only when we have done our duty and seen the results. Falling at the feet of gurus is of no use until that happens. Anyway, we do all that out of our cultural needs, but that's a different matter altogether. So please reflect on this very crucial aspect, that following heartfulness way, the qualities that are required, am I having it? Am I practicing? If not, how are they creating more waste in my brain? The discussions that we had with Dr. Rudolph Trust, that the main cause of this loss of memory or dementia or Alzheimer is because of inflammations in the brain cells triggered by this waste material. So if you want to remain healthy, at least even at this level, forget spirituality also. Even if you want to maintain your mental health, we need to develop all these qualities. It is more required than even exercise, even sleep, even your diet. Attitudes is number one. Then comes your sleep, your exercise and diet. Thank you. And please reflect on this very carefully, read it again and again, both the messages. Thank you once again.